So like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I never tell y'all to subscribe, okay? But make sure you subscribe as well. So now we're about to get into how my week has been on the 7.5 milligram and what my weight has been doing. It's been doing everything but cooperating. All right. Okay. It's been doing everything. So, I got a little beside myself as I do sometimes. I did a midweek weigh in. The scale was going down. So I did a video about it and everything was going great until it wasn't. So we're going to get into my lose it logs for this week. I want to take my time with this. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, it is not an echo chamber over here, so feel free to tell me what you're thinking, all right? So, when I did my last video, in case you missed it, originally the scale had went up 1.5 pounds or nearly 2 pounds or something like that. Then when I did my video, I was down 1.5 pounds. So the scale was going back down into the right direction, right? But I continue to do cheat weigh-ins, like middle of the week weigh-ins, and my weight has honestly been all over the place. And then my final weigh-in was yesterday, my official weigh-in day. So my middle of the week weigh-in was 168 pounds. Somehow the scale managed to go up 4.5 pounds in a matter of just a couple of days. We're going to go over what I was eating in those couple of days. Okay. We're going to go over how I was feeling. We're going to go over my constipation and or bowel movements. We're going to go over when I took my shot. We're going to go over all of that because in case you didn't know, or you weren't here, or you're simply new, I still have 20 to 25 pounds to lose until I get to my first goal. I was successfully losing weight on a 10 milligram, but I was having other issues that made me decide to titrate down. The risk with titrating down is that I could potentially eat more and either stop my weight loss or even start gaining weight. However, the danger zone to consider is a 5 pound fluctuation. Okay. My body naturally, can fluctuate in anywhere between 2 to 5 pounds without me having any cause for alarm. But creeping up over 5 pounds means to pump the brakes and we got to do something different. Okay. But I'm not worried until I'm not worried as long as I stay under a 5 pound gain, especially within a month's time frame. To see 4.5 pounds in a matter of a few days was very weird. It was very weird and it caused a little bit of panic. All right. So we're going to get into it. If you haven't already, please like the stream, leave us a comment, and subscribe. So the last time we talked was on Saturday, and I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of what I've been eating and the fluctuations in my weight throughout the week. And then I have to give you my final weigh in. Okay. So last week was Valentine's Day. I'm lying. We didn't talk on Valentine's Day. We talked the day before Valentine's Day. Okay. We talked on Friday. So Valentine's Day, I honestly didn't eat much. I ended up actually eating at home. I'm not going to go over everything that I've been eating because y'all have heard that a number of times. And it's the same shit every week. Okay. I'm making nachos. I'm making homemade pizza. I'm eating chicken. I'm eating bacon and eggs. I'm eating yogurt, and I'm drinking a protein shake, drinking yogurt. It's the same shit every week. All right. I'm eating some snacks. I don't need to get into all of that. So Saturday, I ate roughly 800 calories, which is below maintenance for me. Okay. Now, Sunday, and I believe I took my shot on Thursday at the time. I believe I took my shot on Thursday. So Sunday, I went up, I went up to about 400 calories. And let's see if I have any notes for this day. Nothing particular was going on, so I didn't take any notes. Nothing weird is going on. Nothing of note is going on. I'm drinking enough water. I'm eating enough food. No cause for alarm, okay? Monday, same thing, 1,400 calories, no notes, no cause for alarm. Nothing weird is going on until we get to about Tuesday, I believe, okay? So now, for some reason, Tuesday, my calories go up to roughly 2,000 calories. And I don't know why I wasn't paying attention at the time. I didn't notice it at the time. Now, my notes as far as my appetite is that this is day 5 after my injection. I was hungry most of the day. I was craving sugar, and I was missing that full suppression of the 10 milligram where I did not have to think about food or have to think about cravings at all. The other note that I have is that I was experiencing so throughout the week since being on the 7.5 milligram, this is my third week on it. I keep having these wild like bouts of unexplained food noise. Like they're random. It comes up at random times. A lot of the times it's late at night. It's random points where I literally cannot stop thinking about food. I can't stop thinking about what I'm gonna eat next. So this particular day, day 5, led to some late night eating, and I was wondering, I put in my notes, are my food choices causing this food noise, right? Like, is it because I'm eating sugar or eating processed food? Is that what's leading to like the brain chatter that I'm experiencing? Okay. So that was my first day, day 5. That was my first day reaching nearly 2000 calories. And then Wednesday happens and I'm over 2000 calories. I'm nearly at 2200 calories, which is unheard of for me on the 10 milligram. In fact, it might have been unheard of for the entirety of my journey. Like, I don't think there's ever been a point, maybe within the first 10 to 20 pounds, but like in the past year, being able to eat 2000 calories in a day, I don't think I don't think that has been happening. Okay. I don't think that has been happening. So my fiber intake, it's tracked automatically based on what I put in the food, but I don't look at it day to day. So have I been paying attention to it? No, but it is automatically tracked. And I'm getting about 10 to 15 grams of fiber per day. And I should be at 20 to 25, which is better because I used to be at 0, honestly. So getting 15 grams is better than nothing. All right. So second day, this is day 6 before my shot, and I'm at 22 freaking hundred calories, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? And I posted about it on my in the community because I looked up my TDEE calculations and it said that 1950 calories or more, and I'm in the realm of weight gain. So like 1900 calories would be mild weight, would be some slow weight gain, and I think over 2000 calories is like mild weight gain, and then there's like aggressive if I go to like 2400 calories or something like that. So I posted that like I'm eating over 2000 calories on day 5 and day 6. If this continues, then I'm going to gain weight, right? And I also weighed in this day, and I think this was the day that I weighed in and the scale was up 4 pounds. So I damn near panicked. It was either this day or the next day. Now, do I think a 4.5 pound gain came from like just fat, like just gaining body fat? No, I don't necessarily think that, right? But how fast it came on, even if it was sodium, like Sunshine said, even if it was water retention, even whatever it was, the fact that it happened in the matter of 2 days means that there's something that I'm putting in my mouth that is causing this massive gain, and that can easily turn into 10 pounds. Whether it's 10 pounds of fluid, 10 pounds of fat, 6 pounds of fat, 4 pounds of fluid, whatever it is, it's happening very, very quickly. So I had to pump the brakes. Okay. So I had a plan going into, so because I was, I realized I was eating over 2000 calories. I'm like, okay, so I gotta plan out like how I'm gonna, try to eat moving forward. So the plan for this day that did not work out because I ended up eating over 2000 calories. My plan was to limit my high sugar foods and see if the food noise returns. If the food noise is overwhelming, to take my shot a day early. So I was typically supposed to take it on Thursday, but if my food noise was overwhelming on this Wednesday, I was going to take my shot early, and instead of drawing up 50 units, I was going to draw up 55 units. Now, for my appetite, this is day 6 after my shot. 9 a.m., no hunger, no food noise, busy morning. And I chose to have a protein shake before going out for my busy morning because I was trying to blunt whatever calories I was going to eat out, because whenever I go out, I'm going to end up eating out. So I made a note that I didn't want to get caught hungry or with food noise while I was out and about. Now, later into the afternoon, I was, and into the evening, I was hungry throughout the day, and I did some late night eating as well. I ended up taking my injection early because I realized that I was overeating again. Like 2200 calories for me on a non-workout day is me overeating. It just is. Let's see how much protein I had this day. 87 grams of protein, but nearly 200 grams of carbs. That's how you know I'm having a lot of processed food. That 200 grams of carbs, or nearly 200, didn't come from fruits and vegetables. Like, it's damn near impossible to get that high. So that means I'm eating a lot of processed food, a lot of junk, drinking my coffees. Um, yeah, it was a lot of cookies on this day. Remember, I had the issues with the cookies last week, but I didn't buy them this time. I'm throwing Tommy Smooth under the bus. He bought them, okay? He did the Monique thing. He put the banana pudding on my neck, y'all. So I ended up overeating on this day, late night snacking and things like that. So I said, F it. I'm just gonna take my injection early. So I took my injection 24 hours early. Now on Thursday, it appears taking my injection early was a good idea because I was able to get my calories back down. So on Thursday, I had 1,200 calories. But here's the thing. Here's what I noticed. I had to be incredibly diligent, okay? Incredibly diligent about staying within my calorie allotment for this particular day because it is very easy for me to overeat. So I prioritized protein, even some fiber with some chia seeds, had a protein shake, did have a little bit of ice cream, but it wasn't much. It was like a scoop. And I had like 2 cookies or something like that. So I did snack, but I like I had to be extremely deliberate about what I ate and what I didn't eat and how much I was going to eat or not eat. All right. So I have a lot of notes for this day because of the past 2 prior days of overeating. So appetite, 11 a.m., no hunger. Sorry, I take that back. This was the day that I weighed in at 168. So clearly something was going awry. I think what happened was I weighed in at 168 and I was like, we cannot have another 2,000 calorie day. Like, we just can't. We just can't do it. So weighed in at 168 based on the calories the day before. My body is definitely trying to regain this weight. Okay. So I made a note that the fact that I'm eating 2,000 to 2,200 calories, that tells me that my body is trying to regain this weight, okay? Because this happens with or without a GLP-1. You spend enough time under eating, your body will try to get that weight back, okay? Your body will deliberately encourage you to eat more, or your brain, whichever one you want to choose. Your hormones will encourage you to eat more to regain that weight. And that's what I felt like was starting to affect me, okay? So I even put my brain is encouraging me to eat. I tried to take specific notes, y'all. Don't judge me. Like the stream if you haven't already. So I made a note that yes, my brain is encouraging me to eat, but I'm still in charge of what I choose to eat. Okay. Now, when I was on the 10 milligram, I didn't really have to be picky choosy because I couldn't really eat beyond like 800 calories for 3 to 4 days a week. And then toward the end of the week, I could get to like 12, 13 if I really tried. But now with zero effort, I can easily skate past 2,000 calories. If I do that for 7 days, I'm going to be up 1.5 pounds of pure weight gain, no fluid, no, like it's going to be, oh, you put on 1.5 pounds of body fat because you've been eating over 2,200 calories every single day. And that weight, those calories had to go somewhere, right? So I'm in charge of what I eat, right? I don't even think it's necessarily the amount that's the problem because at the beginning of the week, days 2, 3, 4, I was okay. Once I got to days 5 and 6, that's when my calories shot through the roof. So I made notes for constipation as well. I had just started to notice that I can't remember the last time I went on this particular day. I checked my calendar and my last poop sticker was on the 14th. And I'm like, is that accurate? Or did I just forget to keep tracking on my calendar? So I honestly don't know. I don't know if I went 4 or 5 days without going or if I had just stopped tracking. But I know on this particular day, I couldn't remember the last time I went. So that could explain the 168. And I did increase my fiber through adding some chia seeds, okay? Now I have a note about this being a dangerous, weigh-in for me. Even though it's the midweek weigh-in and things could still level out by the time I get to Friday, this is not something that I'm taking lightly, that 4.5 pound gain, okay? Like that's not something I'm taking lightly. So I made a note that a 4-pound gain is a cause for alarm. I don't care where it came from. That's how you know I was pissed off this day. I put in my notes. I don't care where it came from. I don't care if it was, I don't give a flying flop where that 4.5 pounds came from. It got to go. Okay. I'm not waiting until it gets to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds in my bank account. Like I'm not waiting. So I made a note. I don't care where it came from. Everybody stop what you're doing. We got to do something different. Okay. So I also made a note that this is the point of multiple weigh-ins and that now it's time to reset. Okay. So this is why on this particular day, I was like, you know what? Stop what you're doing, track everything, right? Track everything and stay within your calorie allotment. We're not doing 2,200 calories. This particular day, I ended up eating 1,200 calories. So that was fine. And the plan to accomplish that was no snacking in between meals, reduce sweet drinks, don't start eating until hungry. Now, this seems counterintuitive on a GLP-1, right? I'm going to get caught up on you guys' comments in just a second. So this seems counterintuitive, but because I was overeating and eating just because, I made a note on this particular day to wait until I was hungry to eat, which on a GLP-1, we typically don't want to do that because if we wait, we'll never get hungry. Well, that's not the case on this current dose for me. That was the case on the 10 milligram. I can't wait until I get hungry because I'll never get enough protein in if I wait, because I won't get hungry until day 4 or 5. Well, on the 7.5 milligram, I may not be hungry all the time, but I've been given into food noise a lot. And even if I'm not hungry, I'm capable of eating. Like I'm not averse to food at all whatsoever, especially if it's highly processed. But this particular day, I wanted to at least wait, okay? Especially since I've been having some late night eating, I wanted to wait until I was actually hungry, trying to relearn my hunger cues. I wanted to wait until I was actually hungry to start to have, a meal for the day. I finished my eating by 10 p.m. This worked for me the last 10 pounds that I lost. So we're, instead of me eating till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, like I've been doing the days before, I just stopped. I just cut off my eating at 10 p.m. because that worked for me recently. And I noticed that my water, because this was like after I took my shot early, my water intake was slipping and I needed to get back on track with my increase in fiber. All right. So let me pause there because that was Thursday and then I did my weigh-in on Friday. So before I get to Friday, let me get caught up on y'all's comments. All right. Didn't you say your calories were up this past week? Absolutely. I did. Were you in your menstrual cycle? No, I was not. And Sunshine says sodium and poop. I know. I know. Okay. I know. And what's your fiber intake? It's about 15 grams a day. It's about 15 grams. Until that particular day, I made a note that it was slipping. So maybe it was about like 7 or 8 or something like that. But yeah, it's about 15 grams. And I need to try to get it up to 20 to 25. I went up 15 pounds in the 5 weeks I was off it, down 4 of those pounds now. It comes fast. It comes incredibly fast. Okay. Plan your snacks to be more protein. Nuts are good. Okay. All right. I don't have food noise. I have food fantasies. My term. Interesting. Okay. Are you enjoying the effort to be more diligent in the calories you're consuming? No. Okay. No, I'm not enjoying it. It's frustrating, but I understand the necessity. So I'm willing to put in the work, but it's frustrating because I was on the 10 milligram. I was just getting around to not being afraid of certain foods, right? So I was just getting around to learning some level of moderation, right? Like learning that it's not that serious. You can have a little sugar, you can have a little fat. Like I had cut out my eating out down to 1 day a week instead of 3-4 days a week. So on the 10 milligram, I was just getting around to not being afraid of certain foods. Now that I don't have as much of a crutch, I have to be very, very effing careful. I have to be put it to you like this. On a 10 milligram, I could have 2 cookies and be fine. Totally satisfied. 3 cookies if you're nasty. Now I'll have the 3, but in a couple hours, I'm gonna want another 3. And now I have to make a choice to not have them. Whereas on the 10 milligram, I wouldn't want it in another 3 hours because I already had it. You know what I mean? Like I was already satisfied. And plus, I wasn't getting that much enjoyment from food on a 10 milligram anyway because I was full all the time. Now that I'm not so adverse, now that I'm not, my appetite is not so suppressed, one, I do enjoy my food more, which means I want to eat it more. I am starting to get reward from sugar, which means I want it more. You know what I mean? So it's like some of my prior habits that led to me being 240 pounds in the first place, they're now resurfacing, and I have to be very, very careful about just carelessly going throughout my day, picking at things. Like I can't do that. I just can't. So am I enjoying it? No. But is it worth it considering the anhedonia I was experiencing? Yes. If I had to choose right now, right? Assuming I don't gain 10 to 20 pounds, let's say as of right now, that 4 pounds, maybe five, let's round up to 5 pounds was the max. And moving forward, I start losing weight again more consistently. Is the close knit tracking, as annoying as it is it worth the effort versus just going back up to the 10 milligram and having all of that suppressed with like zero effort? I would rather be where I am now. I be wanting to cry at night with my sad nuggie, crying but trying, okay? I be wanting to cry at night with my sad nuggie, okay? Because not worrying about what I was eating was much easier on a 10 milligram. Now, not so much. And some of y'all gave me suggestions such as just take a little more out of the vial or order the 10 since it's the same price and just take a little less. I'm going to tell you why I'm not doing that, how it's been working for me to just take more out of the vial, and why I think there's a significant difference between the 7.5 and the 10, which won't give me what I'm looking for if I just take more of the 7.5 or less of the 10, right? Like I don't typically when we think about dosing, we think about just take a little more or take a little less, but there's something different between those two doses that I don't think that would necessarily work for me. So I'll explain why in a minute. All right. No pooping for days would make the scale go up. I agree. And it's interesting that no poop for that many days, but you were still able to eat. I would feel sick. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like I barely remember what I did yesterday. So I don't know if I really went because I didn't feel sick. So I'm like, have I been going? Because I actually don't remember. You know, sometimes things are on autopilot. So it's possible that I was going and I just wasn't tracking it via my poop sticker. So I have to be more diligent about my poop sticker so that I know. Shout out to Jen for the idea. I think you mentioned that you use Miralax, and if so, you might want to consider using something else because that Miralax isn't working. Have you tried Mygo 7? No, and I haven't used Miralax. I only use Miralax when it's like an emergency, like when when I'm in pain and it hurts, then I will use the Miralax, and it does work. But I haven't used Miralax. The fact that I haven't used Miralax in the past week tells me that I haven't been as constipated as I might have thought, right? Like, so I think it's possible that I didn't actually go through 4 to 5 days of constipation. I don't think I did. I just think at some point, I forgot to track. So maybe I went on Monday, but didn't go on Tuesday, went on Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, but didn't go, like I think that's what ended up happening. But either way, I'm going now, so it's fine. 15 pounds in 5 weeks is diabolical. I would agree. Yep. Yeah, I would agree. Menstrual cycle phase can impact the scale too. I wouldn't be able to eat more food. My stomach would be acting, would be aching and throbbing. Yeah. Okay. Sad nuggy. All right. So let's get into what my official weigh-in was, okay? Because when I realized I couldn't remember if I was going, I started tracking my poops again. And I am going. So, I don't know what happened with that 4 days because I didn't feel in pain. I didn't feel sick. So I don't know. Maybe I was going and I literally was just forgetting like on a day-to-day basis. All right. So I was overeating, right? 2,000 calories for me on a non-exercise day is overeating. So I was overeating for those couple of days, may or may not have had some constipation. Let's lean more toward I was, since I didn't track that I was actually going. We'll have to lean more toward I was experiencing some constipation. So those combination of things, my higher carb days, 200 grams is diabolical. Like even if like I'm gonna gain water weight and some fat or whatever just from my carbs being that high for me personally, okay? I can tolerate about 80 grams with no weight gain, 120 grams if I'm working out. But once I start to get above that, I definitely see my weight start ticking up. And that was before a GLP-1. So I wouldn't be surprised that if that's what's happening now. Okay, so I got my eating under control on Thursday and I kept my calories at 1,200. That was the day after taking my shot early. Okay. I took my shot on Wednesday, and then Thursday, my calories were back down. Now on Friday's a different story, which was yesterday, because technically this doesn't count toward my weigh-in, but I want to read you guys the notes anyway. So let me give you my weigh-in first, and then we'll go into my Friday notes so y'all know how the rest of the week ended and what I'm going to be doing moving forward. So that 4.5 pounds did scare me, but I'm pretty sure, as usual, it was a combination of things, but I was not about to take no chances. So I got I got my eating under control the very next day. And I also took my shot early. So yesterday also was a good day. What is that? Day two? That would be day two after my shot. 1,100 calories on purpose. I made sure to not overeat, but I did eat this day. So 1,100 calories. And let's get into my notes. So my notes regarding the 7.5 milligram. My appetite is physically suppressed. I'm emphasizing physically, right? In my, like, as far as my stomach goes, my appetite is physically suppressed days 1 through 4. So not shot day, because I take my shot in the evening. That's day 0. The following day would be day 1. Okay. So days 1 through 4, I'm noticing I don't really have much of a problem. My appetite is suppressed. I may have random moments of like food chatter that I was given into, but other than that, I'm okay. The relief from thinking about food is missing. All right. So, how many of you have had this experience where you first get on a GLP-1 and there's this silencing? You didn't even know you were thinking about food until it's gone. I had that experience, right? That got taken to a different level when I got to the 10 milligram. Okay. And it was even out of this universe when I had the 10 milligram and the Wellbutrin together. It was like, what is food? What's that? I don't need that. What do I need to eat for ever again? Like it was crazy. But with sticking to the 10 milligram, when I got from the 7.5 to the 10 milligram was wonderfully effective for at least half the week, if not more, obliterating any desire to eat, any appetite, any food, any thoughts of food. I would forget to eat. Like the 10 milligram was wonderful about that. But that was happening, like you could tell it was happening in the brain, not just physically, but you could tell that that experience was happening, like not psychologically, but like chemically in the brain. You could tell. Well, that relief is gone. Like I don't have that anymore. Okay. I may not be hungry all the time, but I still think about food. I don't think about food all the time, but more often than I ever did on the 10 milligram, I think about food. So for example, today, right? Saturday, when I woke up, I wasn't hungry. Thank God. Because like I'm on some, if I'm not even hungry, I don't even want to look at no food. Like, because I know I can overeat. If I'm not hungry, I'm not even bothering. So I wasn't hungry today, but my mind was still going about wanting these buffalo wings from Hooters. My mind was still going about what I wanted to eat when I did get hungry. I didn't have that experience before on the 10 milligram. Typically, I wouldn't experience that until it was almost shot day, like day 6, 7, then yeah. Or if I was late, then yeah, I would have that experience. But now I have that experience much often. So whatever is happening in the brain with a GLP, GIP, it's significantly better on a 10 milligram from my experience. Um, I did decide to draw up more. I was able to get 60 units, maybe it was 59, but roughly 60 units out of my vial. And it's not putting me closer to the effects of that 10 milligrams. So what do I mean by that? So some of you suggested to just pull up more out of the 7.5 or order the 10 and just pull up less, right? And discard the rest. Well, as far as pulling up more out of the 7.5, that is doing nothing for me. That is, I don't know how injectable medications work as far as potency, as far as like strength. I don't know how these things work, but from my experience, right? Thus far, from my experience, pulling up more out of a 7.5 milligram vial is not pushing me closer to the 10 milligram the way one would think, right? So the idea is don't quite take the 7.5, don't quite take the 10, take something in the middle, right? By pulling up more. So people have said, oh, if you pull up more, that'll give you an 8 point something, something or other, right? 8.5 or whatever. Well, that ain't doing nothing for me. Okay. Like it's not, I won't say nothing. It's better than me just doing the 50 units. I would say that it's slightly better, but it's nothing. It's nothing compared to that 10 milligrams. So even if I am getting 8 milligrams or 8.5 out of that 7.5 vial, it is nowhere near as effective as that 10 milligram. And I find it hard to believe that the only difference is 2 milligrams, like, or a milligram and a half. Like, I find it hard to believe that the only difference between these two doses is just a couple milligram, and then magically the 10 milligram is like 3 to 4 times better than the 7.5 for me. I know some people didn't like the 10 or whatever, but like with my experience, it's almost like taking two completely different medications. When I went from the 10 to the 7.5, it felt like I had gotten my medication from a completely different pharmacy. It was almost like it didn't even come from Lilly Direct. That's how different the 7.5 and the 10 milligram feels for me, right? I am getting some appetite suppression from the 7.5. Food noise suppression is like all but gone. It's all but gone, but it's you know, it's really not the end of the world for me. I don't mind thinking about food as long as I'm not giving in to every thought. But I almost have no food noise suppression, right? Like none. Like well, I won't say none because I'm not thinking about food all the time, but I am thinking about it frequently. So I might have a little. But pulling up 60 milligrams, or I'm sorry, 60 units or 55 units, it's not doing what people would think that it does. Okay. So I don't know what I'm going to do about, I mean, I don't know if I'm just going to continue with the 7.5 and just keep pulling up the 60 units, because I guess that might be slightly better than the 50 units, but people have, suggested just going back to the 10 because it's the same price and pulling up less. I don't really necessarily feel like going to get my prescription refilled or anything like that. Like, I don't feel like going back to the doctor to have them change my prescription. Not right now, right? I have an appointment with my doctor in March, so we can talk about it and see. And I really don't want to go, like, the idea of throwing away extra medication in the vial, like, grinds my gears. So I really don't want to do that. But we'll have to talk about that later. Let's see how I'm continuing to do on a 7.5, and then we'll revisit that later. But it's not the same. Like, it is not pulling up, let's say, for example, right? Pulling up 60 units out of the 7.5 vial is not the same as drawing up 40 units from the 10. And that's what people make it seem like. Like, either way, it's like an 8 point something, so you should be fine. And it's like, it's not, though. I don't know why it's different. That's why I was reading the insert from the Zepbound vials. I was hoping it was in there. I don't know why it's different. I don't know what's happening there, but it's different. So that's my take on that. The rest of my notes, I have to now have some rules around eating, okay? Since it's easy for me to overeat. I won't start eating until I'm hungry. We already talked about that one. And we already talked about how that's typically counterproductive, but considering the fact that I don't have a problem with eating, it is fine for me to wait for actual genuine hunger to come along. And this is to avoid eating out of boredom or, emotions or anything like that. So I'm actually starting to wait until I'm hungry to eat, right? So that I'm not just casually eating throughout the day. And then I made notes for day 2 that I had no hunger at 6 a.m. I can't automatically maintain a calorie deficit on this dose, so I have to put in extra effort. I have to put in extra effort in order to maintain a calorie deficit. And by 3 p.m., I still wasn't hungry yesterday, so I ended up eating late. Okay, so that was all my notes for Friday. But before I even took all of those notes or started eating for the day, I did weigh in for my official weigh-in. Somehow, I'm back down to 165. Okay? I don't know what has been happening this week. I went from 164 to 168 back to 165 in a matter of a week. Y'all let me know what y'all think of that while I get caught up on your comments, all right? So Sunshine says 7.5 may not be enough. Who knows if 8 or 9 is your golden sweet pot, sweet spot without anhedonia. I don't even think that that's incorrect. I'm just not sure how I'm supposed to get that. Like, because it's not working with the vial that I have. Like, like even pulling up 8.5, that is not it ain't doing what I needed to do. It would have been interesting if you had tried staying on a 10 for a while after you started the other med to see if that worked for the anhedonia. You made two changes at practically the same time. Yeah, because the anhedonia or not, like anhedonia is psychological, but physically, the 10 milligram was making me exhausted. It was too strong for me. I was not willing to stay on a 10 milligram. And in fact, it wasn't two changes at the exact same time because there was an overlap. I added the Wellbutrin first. Like I got the prescriptions at the same time, but I didn't get my 7.5 milligram for like another week or two. So while I was still on the 10, I added in the Wellbutrin and all desire for food went away. All complete and utter interest in food, it just went out the window. And I'm like, I cannot live like this. I can't. I cannot live like this. Like, so no, staying on the 10 with the Wellbutrin was not an option because I had no interest in food whatsoever. On the 10 milligram, I still had an interest in food. I just didn't think about it often, right? Like toward the end of the week, I'd be ready to eat. But for the first half of the week, I just really didn't think about it. I would eat, not really be able to get enough calories, but have a I didn't really like have a lack of interest in food. I just wasn't hungry. I added in the Wellbutrin with the appetite suppressing effect of the Wellbutrin. All desire for food went out the window. So no, that would not have been a good option for me. Um, the silence from the food chatter has been bliss. I didn't even know that existed. Yes, I would agree. Isn't Lily planning to release multi-use vials and pens next week for Zepbound? If that happens, then we can adjust doses as we want. I would agree. I would agree. I would agree. I considered split doses, half the first day and half 3 days later. Okay. I said practically the same time. Okay. Paul says, when you were on that Mac 10 dose, how much protein were you getting? Not much, maybe 20 to 30 grams. Now I'm up to 80 to 120. So I couldn't eat enough protein. I couldn't eat enough calories. I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat. Okay. So it just wasn't the weight loss was wonderful. The food noise suppression was wonderful. All of that was wonderful. But like you you have to pick your battles, okay? You got to pick your battles. And for some people, it just makes more sense to stay on their higher dose. It just makes more sense for them. Fine. I have another 20 to 25 pounds to lose. I say 20 to 25 because it keeps changing, but I have roughly another 20 pounds to lose. And for pure and utter weight loss, yes, staying on the 10 makes sense. But for my desire to like have a good, comfortable life, that dose didn't make sense for me. And I am not anti 10 milligram. I love the 10 milligram. It's not without its flaws for my physiology. Like with my physiology, the 10 milligram is not the dose that I need. The 7 point, don't get me wrong though, the 7.5 ain't strong enough, without a doubt. Unfortunately, right now, Eli Lilly isn't offering, any other doses or like it was said, hopefully when the multi-use vials come out, then maybe something will be easier. But as of right now, the 7.5 is not strong enough. The 10 milligram is too strong. So would have been like some things have been better since being on the 7.5 and some have been not as great, right? So I have greater food noise. I have more of an appetite. My sugar cravings are back. And I'm capable of overeating. I'm capable of overeating, right? Well, so I have to pay closer attention to what I'm eating, right? And how much. But my energy is back and more stable. The fatigue is gone. Probably cut by like honestly 90% because I still get post injection fatigue, but it's like a blip compared to being down for the count for 3 to 4 days. The brain fog lifted immediately. So with the overlap between the Wellbutrin and the titrating down, I don't know which one caused the lift of the brain fog. I don't know if it's because I reduced my dose. I don't know if it's because I added a dopamine reuptake inhibitor. Like I don't know. I don't know which one lifted the brain fog. In fact, I honestly started to feel better immediately when I included the Wellbutrin. I did start to feel better, mentally once I included it, but now that it's been a couple of weeks, I don't know. I don't know if it was the lower dose or if it was the Wellbutrin that lifted the brain fog. As far as like motivation, Sweetie, cover your ears. And Jennifer, cover your ears, okay? I have been wanting to walk more. I have been wanting to get outside. I have been in a better mood, okay? Again, the psychological effects and the emotional effects, is it the Wellbutrin? Is it the lower dose, or not necessarily the lower dose, but is it not having as high of a dose? Is it that? I don't know. Okay. It could be both. I'm not really willing to find out by going back up to the 10 quite yet. I'm not really willing to find out. All I know is the combination of the two has me feeling better. The reason I don't think that, like I was saying earlier, the reason I don't think that staying on the 10 and adding the Wellbutrin would have been a good combination is because I immediately noticed zero interest in food. It was like, not only was the 10 milligram reducing the reward that I would get from food, but adding the, the regulator for my dopamine, which is from the Wellbutrin, it was like, it literally felt like, what is the point of eating, right? When you're an emotional eater, when you are a boredom eater, when you are a sugar addict, you eat for your feelings more so than you eat for hunger. So when your brain chemistry gets addressed, it's like, okay, so what's the point of food? That's how it feels to a food addict. It's like, if I'm not getting a dopamine hit from the food, well, then I'm not like, it was like, I'm not interested. Not only do I not have an appetite from the 10 milligram, but now because the dopamine is being addressed, food ain't even got no purpose in my life. Like, that's what, I mean, that's being facetious and dramatic, but that's literally what it felt like. So I needed to bring the appetite down so that I could at least get the food in, right? That's why I don't think the 10 milligram and the Wellbutrin would have been a good combination for me at all. That could have been the cause of your tired and this not getting enough protein. Having some go-to protein focused meals will help with the sugar cravings. Yes, so I made a note about that last week. If I'm protein forward with my meals and my snacks, my appetite is fine. It's not 10 milligram fine, but it's fine. It's normal fine. Like it's kind of annoying to feel normal at this point. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I want to feel like I'm wrapped in a 10 milligram blankie. Like, being on the 10 milligram for me is like being wrapped in a blankie, like being safe from the world. You don't have to worry about where you're going to eat. You don't have to worry about these things. Like, not to say that you could just eat whatever you want, but there's no worry. You're just wrapped in a nice, soft 10 milligram blankie. Okay. You're feeling all good. Okay. But now it's like, you better prioritize your protein or you're going to eat everything in sight. Okay. Like, you better prioritize the protein and get it in first. All right. Did she? No, 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 no. That's not what I said. I said I've been wanting to. Okay. I haven't gotten there yet because I'm still stubborn. But I've been waking up like, because it's been warmer here. So I've been waking up like, oh my God, I'm ready to go for a walk. And it's also because like my days are so busy. I spend most of my time in the car moving from errand to errand throughout the day. And by the time I'm done, it's time to go to work. And then when the weekend comes, I just want to go to sleep and talk to y'all. So I haven't started the walking yet, but it's in the air. The feeling. The feeling is in the air. Okay, sweetie, stop before I get back on the 10 milligram and I don't want to walk no more. Okay. How about that? Just to be an asshole, I can titrate right back up and start being anti-walking. Okay. I told y'all, I remembered, I don't know where this memory went, but it came back. I remembered when I was in Virginia years ago before GLP-1, I used to walk all the time. I don't know how I lost an interest in that. I don't know. But when y'all was talking to me about walking, I was like, gross. Gross. Oh, see, they was listening. Reindeer and Jen. Yes, I was thinking about it. It is progress. I know. Cover your ears. It's progress, right? We're not there yet, but we're working on it. Shonda says fiber and protein will help with the sugar cravings. Fiber is definitely the best for sugar cravings, though. Now, Shonda, you know what is my secret weapon now? It is the chia seeds. Because let me tell y'all, I think it was the day after shot day, right? After 2 days of just eating all crazy. I put some more so than I did in my video. I think in my video I only put half a teaspoon because I didn't know what it was going to taste like. Okay, guys, if you watched my video, the chia seeds was getting stuck in my tongue and in my teeth, and I was like, I wasn't really trying to spit them out. I was trying to get them unstuck. Okay, so I didn't spit them out. I was just trying to like get them unstuck. Well, I let them sit. Okay, the second time around, I let them sit for like half a day in my yogurt. That yogurt wiped my appetite. Like, it wiped my appetite out. Okay. I put about, instead of half a teaspoon, I put 3 teaspoons, which is a tablespoon, into my yogurt. Them chia seeds wiped my appetite completely off the face of the map for several hours. That is the cheat code. That is my new ace in the pocket, okay, in the hole or whatever. It's them chia seeds. It's the fiber. It is the fiber, okay? Now, I do eat fruit, right? I eat apples, I eat oranges. I'm still working on the produce fiber, but them chia seeds, okay? I might start getting my fiber more so from nuts and seeds, but them chia seeds did the damn thing. I cannot tell a lie. They sure did. They sure did wipe my appetite off the face of the planet. I think she needs to watch some skinny talk videos on making time to walk. Yes, I do. Oh, thank you. Sad nuggy. Honestly, this might be my new uniform. I might just wear the shirt every Saturday, because why not? Until I get the next 20 pounds off. I'm tired of having to find something to wear every stream anyway. So this might be my uniform for like a month or so. I don't know. But yeah, skinny talk. I ain't been watching skinny talk, y'all, because the girls be getting on me. They be getting on me, and I don't be wanting to hear that shit sometimes, you know? Like, I love skinny talk. I do. It gets me going. But sometimes I just want to be left in the dark. Sometimes I don't want to hear all that get up and move shit. Like, leave me alone. So since titrating down, I have had more energy to go to the gym, which has been working out great. I have been able to eat more, which works out great for the gym. However, we still got weight to lose. So I have to be mindful of I cannot even believe I'm saying this. You could never catch me saying this 18 months ago when I first started. I got to be mindful of my calorie deficit. Okay. The reason I started focusing so much on calories is because there was a time several months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, when I was on the 10 milligram, but I wasn't losing weight. And it dawned on me, maybe I'm just eating too goddamn much. Okay. Like, maybe I've reached the point where I have to purposefully reduce my calories, because I was on the 10 milligrams still trying to eat 15, 16, 17, 1800 calories, because that's what worked for me when I was at my highest weight. Well, you're 80 pounds down now, ma'am. Like, those higher caloric intakes lead to weight gain or maintenance at, maybe maintenance. So I realized a few months ago when we talked about it, right? We worked out my calorie allotment on the stream here. I gotta be mindful of how much I'm eating, okay? At 165 pounds, 2,000 calories puts me in the category of weight gain. It just is what it is. On a 10 milligram, I ain't eating 2,000 calories. On a 7.5, I will fuck around and eat 2,500. And it's only 3,500 calories and 1 pound of fat. So it's like, okay, let me not go down that. Dr. Fromm will be very disappointed in my core, like my causation of the amount of calories directly into body fat. I know there's more to it than that, but I'm just saying, like, I can't be eating 2,000 calories every day. I can't do that. Oh no. I'm glad you got a secret cheat code. Yeah, them chia seeds, that's it. That's it. My appetite start getting out of control. Where the chia seeds at? Throw me a tablespoon of chia seeds, and now I put them in my protein shake, which is not as good. It's not as tasty. The texture is very off, but it's better in the yogurt. But yeah, I'm putting them everywhere now. So how do y'all eat prep chia seeds? I drop them into my yogurt the day before I'm gonna drink it. I have drinkable yogurt. I guess you can make a chia seed pudding, or you can put it into a yogurt that you're eating. But I drop it into my drinkable yogurt either the morning of, like before I drink it in the afternoon, or the day before, something like that. Because I don't necessarily want to have to deal with the texture, and the yogurt masks the gel texture of the chia seeds for me. Some people were talking about like, soaking it in water before you're using it. That's too many steps for me. I just let it soak in the yogurt. But some people drink it in a water, like they let it soak for 30 minutes and then they just drink it. But that sounds very gross to me. That sounds very gross. Are you planning any 24-hour fast? Yes, but I'm trying to get my cousin to do them with me. And now that he has had his DEXA scan, he's being very less stubborn about it. Okay. So here's the deal with things changing. Oh, and Jen, you're going to get your way with the coffees. Okay. I purposefully came on the stream with this one, because Tommy bought it, but two, because it's probably my last one until I go back to having them once a week, because I've been ODing with the coffees. But that 4-pound gain was scary. So for the next 2 days, I didn't have no. These be like 400 calories. Well, I get the medium, it'd be 300. Tommy gets me the large, it's 400. Don't blame me, blame him. So Jen, you will be getting your way with my mocha chocolates. Okay, I will have them, but I will start extorting y'all on Saturdays so that I can have my coffee on Monday. All right, so the extortion ain't going away. It's not going away. I still want y'all to support my habit. I want y'all to pay for my coffee. But I'm just saying, okay, I'm just saying that I won't be having them every day anymore. Again. All right? Whatever. Okay? So back to the 24-hour fast question. Yes, but I'm trying to get my road dog to do it with me. And my cousin is very adamant about being in the gym and putting on muscle. When you're doing that, it requires a lot of food. The problem is my cousin also wants to lose weight. And I'm like, it's very difficult if you don't know what you're doing to do both. You got to prioritize, like work on getting that body fat off. So he wasn't really hearing me. And then he went and got a DEXA scan recently and now feels like a ball of fat. I didn't say it, you know? So now that he feels like a ball of fat, he's like, all right, we're doing this. Like, let's go. So he's not really into the 24-hour thing, but I'm trying to get him to start with 18 hours, and then we'll go from there. But yes, I do have some 24-hour fast planned. I just, trying to get my dog to do it with me. Okay, Turtle, Sweet Tea, let us know how it goes. I like it in the yogurt. I do. And it smashed my appetite to smithereens. Like, it was nice. I did a whole tablespoon, and I just, I did it several hours before I had my yogurt. So I didn't have to soak mine first because my yogurt is drinkable. So I just put it in the yogurt and they softened up on their own. But if you're going to use it for other stuff, then yeah, I would say soak it first to make them soft. Please be careful with chia seeds because they will lock you up if you don't ingest enough fluids. Yes. So chia seeds work both ways, right? Because they pull fluid out, right? Like they absorb fluid. They absorb fluid, right? If you put them in water. So if you ingest them without enough fluids, they will pull the water out of your digestive tract and then you will end up constipated. So make sure you're drinking enough water if you're going to add the chia seeds. Start by adding them slowly, maybe a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons or something like that. But make sure you are dang sure getting enough water with them, which we know Sweet Tea drinks a lot of water. Is that a medium cup? This is a large. I don't order this. It's all melted now. I don't order this. Tommy ordered this. But I order a medium, and the medium is like 300 calories. The large is like 400. And now that I'm going home to South Carolina, I'll go back to having them once. Well, not only that, but it will make it easier being in that environment to only have them once a week because there's no Dunkin' in that town. There's a Starbucks, but it's several miles away. I kind of got to go out of my way to get to it. So I'm going to go back to having them once a week. I like the chia seeds crunchy. Yuck. 10 milligram burrito. Okay, a protein. Start my 36-hour fast tonight at 6 tonight. Won't eat again until 8-ish, 9-ish in the morning. Okay. All right. Get the protein milk at Dunkin'. Not everything in my life, I'll say it this way. Some things in my life are unfuckwittable. My coffees are that. I am not going to proteinify. I made up that word. Yes, I did. I am not going to proteinify my coffee. It's not happening. My coffee is my coffee is my coffee is my coffee. I will proteinify and fiberify everything else. But my coffee is unfuckwittable. Nope. It is full of sugar. It is full of carbs because of the milk. And I think the Dunkin' latte is like 90% milk. It's like one shot of espresso and the rest of it is coffee milk, which is I guess a flavor of milk. I don't add any sugar to it or anything. The coffee milk to me is already sweet enough. But it's a ton of sugar. I shouldn't be having it every day. I went down to having it once a week before and then started getting a little complacent. So I'm going to go back to having it once a week, but I will not turn my coffee into a protein shake. No, no. 15 grams of protein in a medium. Let's see how many grams of protein is just in this regular Dunkin' Latte. 11 grams of protein in the medium, and how many is in a large? Which it doesn't matter because it's a lot. It's 15 grams in a large, but it's a lot of sugar. I'm not even gonna tell y'all because y'all don't deserve to know. But it's a lot of sugar. We're gonna fix that. Like the stream if you haven't already. Okay, I can only manage 18 hours fast max. Well, people say they can't fast beyond a certain point, but it's really just annoying to push yourself beyond 18 hours. I'm capable. I just don't enjoy it, right? But I know it's effective. I know it's useful. So I really need to get into pushing myself beyond 18 hours. Now, beyond 24, I don't really see the need to do that more than a couple of times a year. And I already did it. I think I did it 36, at least 136 last year because I have forgotten to eat for a day and a half on that 10 milligram. I literally forgot to eat for a day and a half and was completely unbothered by it. So I have some, 18 is my standard, right? 18, no, okay, I'm lying. 15 is my standard because of what time I work and stuff like that. But yeah, I do plan to do a 24 at least once a week. So hopefully that will work out. All right. So that's my way in. I don't know what happened with the 4 pounds. It could have been the constipation. It could have been the eating. I'm pretty sure it was a combination of everything, but thank goodness we are back down to 165 because I always say the only weigh-in that counts is the one every 7 days. Now I might step on the scale in the middle of the week just to see which way we're trending toward, but none of that counts. The one that counts is the one at the end of the week, because what if I had really like gotten distracted by that 4 pounds, right? That could have gone either way, right? Either I get extremely distracted and feel defeated by it, or I use it as a marker, like, okay, now watch out now. All right. Like, oh, okay, now watch out. So weighing in daily is definitely not for everyone. If it's gonna like stress you out or frustrate you or anything, I would say once a week is generally enough time. So my actual, I want to get the actual number. My actual weight currently, honestly, I didn't even eat today, y'all. Today's the first day that I haven't eaten since being on a 7.5 milligram. And it wasn't even on purpose. I didn't get hungry today. Well, I'm lying. I just had some French fries at the start of the stream. But I just wanted some because Tommy had some. But other than that, I didn't get hungry today. So I didn't eat. I had my coffee and that was it. One, oh, I didn't save it. Okay, it's not an app. Okay, it was 165 point something, which is great. All right. Love adding chia seeds to my yogurt. Or overnight oats. Okay. I actually want to sprinkle it on my pizza too, because I've been doing the homemade non-bread pizzas regularly. Now Sushi says she likes her chia seeds crunchy. I'm wondering if I would like that, right? Like if I sprinkle chia seeds on top the last 2 to 3 minutes that it's cooking, or sprinkle it on the sauce under the cheese before I cook it. I wonder if I would like that, because I'm pretty sure the seeds might still be crunchy. I'm wondering if I would like that. Yes, they are the truth. If you drink enough water. Trying to find a Nugget shirt on Amazon. It's at Five Below. I'm gonna save you the trouble. Okay, I'm gonna save you the trouble. I bought me one and I bought Tommy one. I love Five Below. I love their t-shirts because they always say something, that's super relatable to me. But this one, I couldn't just buy for me. So I bought Tommy one too. And yeah, Sad Nuggy. This the one right here. This is me. This is me, okay? We don't even have to name him because his name is Nuggy. His name is Nuggy, okay? His name is Nuggy. The first 6 month, oh, the first 6 months, I did a 36-hour fast twice a week. That's dedication right there. I wish I was that disciplined, but I'm not. I'm going to start that back up this week. I'm trying to come in March under 200. I am at 201 today. I love weighing in every day. You know what? You're going to easily make it to under 200 in March. We are rooting for you. Some days are irritating, a little irritating, but after half an hour, I get disappointed when it's not a good weigh-in day, and then I move on with my day. I try to hold myself accountable each day. Yeah, like I can weigh in thanks to Jen. Well, okay, let me not give Jen all the credit. I used to weigh in daily, and then I got tired of it because there was too much fluctuation. So I started weighing in weekly, and then Jen started asking me to cheat in the middle of the week for trends. And now it was honestly like a month and a half ago, and I still keep blaming her for it because now I can't stop. So I'm actually weighing in like 3 times a week. And the middle of the week has been helping me just see which way I'm trending toward. Like I weighed in at 168. I shut everything, like I shut down all the snacking and all the, drinking of the coffee the very next day. And then when I weighed in the following day, I was already back down, probably because of going to the bathroom or fluid or whatever. I was already back down another pound nearly. So you can sometimes you can see those changes overnight, and it can be either motivating or it can be like, "Ooh, yeah, that's what you get for eating cookies and ice cream at 1 o'clock in the morning. See what you did? Do you see what you did there?" Okay. So that's pretty much it. Unless y'all have something else that y'all want to go over. We are 2.5 hours in, almost 3 hours. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go because like I'm done with my stuff. Okay.